Hello and welcome to the virtual open day for the Department of Archaeology and Anthropology at Bournemouth University. We're really pleased you're interested in our programmes, and this little video will hopefully give you a flavour of what we have to offer and what it's like to study these subjects here. Both archaeology and anthropology are incredibly broad subject areas. Every institution has its own specific areas of expertise, and we're very aware that students won't have studied either subject before, so you might not be completely familiar with the subject area or where your interests lie in that. What Bournemouth offers is a very broad foundation, stretching from the very earliest archaeology and anthropology of human ancestors, right the way through early farming societies, the Bronze and Iron Ages to the Romans. We focus mainly on Europe and the Near East, but our expertise does also stretch much further afield to Africa, Asia and the Americas. We specialise in practical fieldwork and analysis of archaeological and anthropological material, including digital, forensic and maritime methods and applications. And we're also very interested in the relationships between humans, other animals and our environments, and how these vary across space and time. Within the Department of Archaeology and Anthropology, we offer 5 programmes, with other related programmes with some overlap in individual units offered by other departments in the university. But focusing here on the 5 programmes offered specifically by the Department of Archaeology and Anthropology, firstly, we offer both a BSc and a BA in archaeology. These programmes both offer a practical, hands-on focus on excavation, recording, analytical and interpretive skills to help us learn more about people in the past. The main difference between them is simply that the BSc focuses rather more on scientific, analytical and interpretive techniques, while the BA incorporates more from social, cultural approaches drawn from the humanities and the social sciences. The BA Archaeology and Anthropology programme focuses on giving you an understanding of human societies around the world in both the past and the present, using a range of techniques drawn from across the sciences and humanities. It mainly differs from the 2 archaeology programmes by including more on present-day societies and how they work, as a counterpoint to societies in the past. The BSc Anthropology programme focuses more on the scientific side of anthropology, particularly human biological variability across time and space. It includes much less archaeology, although it does look at past societies as a comparison to modern-day ones. If you're interested mainly in studying present-day societies from a more social and cultural perspective, then you might want to consider the BA in Sociology and Social Anthropology. This shares some units with the BSc Anthropology, but is run by the Department of Social Sciences and Social Work. The BSc Archaeological, Anthropological and Forensic Sciences will teach you specifically about the sciences that are used in archaeological, anthropological and forensic contexts. This includes the collection of the physical evidence found at crime scenes and during archaeological excavation, and the analysis of human and material remains, which can be used either in a forensic or legal context, or by archaeologists and anthropologists to understand people in the past. If you're particularly interested in just forensic science or crime scene investigation, you might want to consider instead some of the other forensic programmes offered by the Department of Life and Environmental Science, which share some taught units with this programme. The range of programmes we offer runs from the more scientific end of the spectrum to the much more humanities and social sciences based side of things. The key thing to note here is that although you'll need to apply to a specific programme, we realise that of course many of you will never have studied archaeology or anthropology formally before, so the programmes are specifically designed to make it as easy as possible to transfer between them, at least in your first year. So if you're not quite sure which area interests you the most at the moment, then take a look at the detailed descriptions of the different programmes available on the website and pick the one that at the moment you feel interests you most. Once you're here and studying, you'll be able to explore the subject in much more depth and decide whether or not you might want to switch programmes. Bournemouth University may be a young university, but we've been teaching archaeology in particular for a very long time, well before we officially became a university. So we have a great deal of experience, particularly in practical vocational training. Over the last few years, we've typically taken around 50 to 60 students each year across our archaeology and anthropology programmes, making us one of the largest departments in the country. We have a very good staff-student ratio, and perhaps the thing that students comment positively on above all else is how engaged and approachable and helpful our lecturers are. We really pride ourselves on working closely with our students to get the best out of you. Our reputation for research is growing very fast too, and all your lecturers will be very actively engaged with research projects across the UK and abroad. But we're also recognised for our strong teaching ethos and the fact that we've always been very focused on what's now known as impact. That is, we focus our research and teaching very much on making a positive difference in the world. Our strengths in teaching archaeology in particular were recognised in 2020 when we became one of the very first universities in the UK to have our archaeology degrees accredited by the Chartered Institute for Archaeologists. So what will it be like studying at BU? Well, we put a very strong emphasis on practical, hands-on learning. So while some of the time you'll be in traditional lectures, you'll also be learning in state-of-the-art laboratory facilities using world-class teaching and learning tools. We have extensive collections of human and animal bones, both teaching casts and real archaeological material, as well as one of the most extensive field kit collections in the country, much of which is available for students for their own projects. And we have outstanding analytical facilities for applying a range of scientific techniques to archaeological, anthropological and forensic material, including a dedicated crime scene facility. We also run field trips. We're lucky enough to live in a part of the world that boasts many heritage sites of global importance, from Stonehenge to Maiden Castle. And we run our own 5-week training excavation each summer, which is attended by all students on the archaeology-related programmes. An important part of this skills-based learning is that short and long placements of 5 and 30 weeks respectively are available on all our programmes. We have a dedicated placement team that will help you identify your dream placement and make it happen and support you while you're there. These placements can be local or global. Either way, we find our students get a huge amount out of the experience, and employers really seem to value students with this experience on their CV. For those of you considering the archaeology-related programmes, these aim to give you a head start if you decide to go on to work in the field. Students who want to go on to work in archaeology can work towards acquiring the Archaeology Skills Passport, a scheme endorsed by Historic England and other employers in the area, which demonstrates your readiness to enter the professional workplace. And as I mentioned, we're one of the first universities to have our programmes accredited by the field's professional body, the Chartered Institute for Archaeologists. They particularly highlighted our strengths in student development, such as the extracurricular opportunities we offer them and our close relationship with our students. Accreditation means that graduating students can join the Chartered Institute immediately on graduation as a vital first step towards getting jobs in the commercial archaeology sector. However, you don't have to go into archaeology or anthropology on graduating. Many of our students do go into archaeology and anthropology related jobs, not just as commercial contractors and consultants, but also working in the heritage sector at museums and in tourism and in the public or not-for-profit sector for charities, governments and non-governmental organisations, as well as teaching and policy. Others go on to do a master's or a PhD in the area. But there's many more things you can do with a degree in archaeology and anthropology. It equips you equally for working in any graduate level profession, from retail and management through to law enforcement. Employers tell us they really value the fact that our graduates have analytical communication and presentation skills that come not only from the humanities and social sciences, but also from the physical and natural sciences. So if you're interested, where do you go next? Well, get involved. Professional societies and organisations will organise events and talks across the UK. A range of magazines will keep you up to date with new developments in the field, and events such as University Archaeology Day and London Anthropology Day will offer you further opportunities to hear about the subjects and speak to academics from lots of different universities. If you're interested in archaeology, then try excavating if you haven't already. Search online to find local digs and volunteering opportunities. When you apply to Bournemouth, we'll simply want to see that you're familiar with the general subject, that you're enthusiastic and excited about studying them, and together we'll build on those foundations. So thank you very much for listening. I hope we've helped you understand what we've got to offer here at the Department of Archaeology and Anthropology at Bournemouth. If you've got any more questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch, and we hope to welcome you very soon.